And finally this week, stock number 5. Stock number 5 is Mercado Libre. Mercado Libre has a risk rating of 5, right in line with the others. It is right in between the sizes of the 4 that we've already covered. It's about $3.5 billion today. Stock's at 87 as I do this podcast. And this is the Latin American e-commerce giant. This is a company that we followed for quite a long time. In fact, my first recommendation of it was in February 2009. So that is 7 years ago this month. The stock was at $14.22 when we recommended it. Today it's 87, so that's not been a bad investment at all. But here's something that surprised me. I've re-recommended it twice in Motley Fool Rule Breakers since, and it's actually losing to the market from those positions starting in 2012, one of them, and then another in 2014. It's substantially down from where it was in 2014. So in fact, speaking of substantially down, this is a stock whose 52-week high is 153, and presently, as I mentioned, is trading around 87. So this is a company we like a lot for the long term. They have excellent management. I like their positioning as the leader in Latin America in e-commerce. It's a fully featured business. It can do the eBay-like part of e-commerce with auctions. And in fact, speaking of eBay, PayPal is such a big part of eBay's success. Mercado Libre has Mercado Pago, which is also a payment system that Mercado Libre runs. And it also fulfills like Amazon does. And so for many countries, South and Central America, it is the e-commerce leader. And of course, I like that area of the world. Really, I like almost all areas of the world, frankly, going forward multiple decades. I'm a real bull on global business. And I see Mercado Libre with its, I won't say stranglehold, but I'll say dominant position over a meaningful portion of the globe that's still early on in its acceptance and adoption of capitalism. In fact, my cautionary note about Mercado Libre, I'll sound right now. Some of its businesses are run in Venezuela, Argentina. If you're somebody who pays attention to business, you recognize these as countries that don't really respect entrepreneurism and that tend to sometimes just co-opt businesses altogether and say that's now owned by the government. Sorry, oil company, American oil company that had developed that field. Right? These are countries that I would not want to do business in personally. And Mercado Libre is doing business in them. And I think over time they will improve and Mercado Libre will be part of that story. But it is, in the near term, certainly a difficult business environment sometimes when you have to work in some of these countries, some large countries. Fortunately, others like Brazil and Peru and Colombia and other companies that are really awakening, I think, to more prosperity for their citizens and more respect for human nature and our way of life. Those are all part of Mercado Libre's story today. So we like this company a lot. And my general investing principle, as I close it up here this week for Mercado Libre, I like to look at replacement cost. Now, that's kind of let me just quickly define my term. If you ask yourself, what would it cost you if you and I wanted to go into business today and we snapped our fingers and we're able to make Mercado Libre disappear? We snap our fingers, whew, it's gone. How much would it cost you and I? How much money would we have to raise? How much effort would it take to replace what Mercado Libre is doing today? And usually, while there's no round number that I ever put to it, I just ask myself, what is really expensive and hard to replace? And I believe that Mercado Libre, what it has achieved, is extremely expensive and hard to replace. So when I see the company worth only less than $4 billion today, and I ask myself, what's the value of being where it is, playing for the next few decades in terms of the profits that it has coming to it, I see a very high replacement cost. And so it's going to be hard for anybody else to come in and really compete in the same way that it's in our country and other countries too. Amazon.com is a pretty hard competitor for a lot. The replacement cost is very high for Amazon.com. So that's my general investing principle applied to Mercado Libre.
As always, people on this program may have interest in the stocks they talk about, and the Motley Fool may have formal recommendations for or against. So don't buy or sell stocks based solely on what you hear. Learn more about rule breaker investing at rbi.fool.com.